Hello, I'm Alper. I'm the business management manager for iBridge, and today I'll answer some questions regarding IB business and mostly IB in general for the newcomers to the IB. So the first question is what I like and dislike about my subject. So what I think I like most about IB business is that it feels useful and connected to the real world as you learn about companies, like business decisions that are ongoing in the real world, and the business management courses case studies also refer to small businesses, which helps you understand concepts better. And also, if your main goal for the future is to be an entrepreneur, or if you're interested in entrepreneurship, IB business does have a lot of necessary information for starting a business and just being a business overall. So the information is really useful, even though it's just a class, so you don't feel like memorizing information. And what I mostly dislike is that there can be a lot of content to remember, and especially if you're taking business HL and if you're taking economics in any level, both subjects can feel similar sometimes, and you can sometimes mix up those or connect the both subjects informations, and it may be somewhat difficult to remember and to memorize, but business is relatively easier to other IB subjects. So I don't think people who are taking students who will take business next year will have a problem. And the next question is what's the hardest part and how I did get through it. So in my opinion, the hardest part was learning how to answer IB style questions in business, and especially for the IB, as knowing the content is one thing, but using it in the right way in exams is another. For instance, my first business exam, which I studied I think a week, only memorizing stuff and only learning concepts, but when I got the real exam, because I hadn't practiced using my understanding of business to do questions, to answer questions, or did past papers, it didn't go well, and I couldn't get my understanding to the paper. And the best way I got through it was practicing past paper questions and getting used to the structure of the answers. And the third question is, if I could go back to day one, what's one thing that I would be doing differently? I would start doing exam practice earlier. At the start, I focused mostly on learning the content, but I realized later that practicing questions is equally important, and solving past paper questions and solving case studies, especially for business, is really important. You have to understand how to solve questions, how to solve case studies, and use your own understanding to the application of the question. So if I could go back to day one, I would start my past paper answering earlier. And the fourth question is, what does a typical week in this class actually look like? So a normal week usually includes learning new topics, discussing real companies, and doing case study work. And there are a lot of class discussions in this class and activities where you can apply what you learn to real business situations. For instance, in our class, mostly when we learn a topic, our teacher gives a case study to the class, and we can try to answer it in groups, and the teacher selects a student from the class to get up on the board and share their understanding, share their answers with the class. And especially closer to exams, there is more focus on practice questions in the class, past paper case studies, and learning how to improve our answers. The teachers mostly help on how to develop your answers better and how to improve your answers for the exam. And the last question is what I recommend to someone who is just starting this class in IB in general. So for IB Business, try to keep up with business news and big companies, because it makes the topics easier to understand and gives you examples to use in class and exams. Like if you follow up business information up to date, you mostly see information that's being taught on this class, so you'll have somewhat an idea of how a business works, and I think that will help you achieve better in this class, and it won't take much of your time or much of your like free time. So I think like that's my advice. And for IB in general, I would suggest staying organized and don't leaving everything last minute, as IB is a exam type that scores your understanding of 1.5 years of knowledge of a topic. So only memorizing things for the exam, for the test, doesn't work for IB, and keeping up with work each week makes IB much less stressful and quite easier. Yeah, that's all, and thank you for listening. Don't forget to use iBridge as a resource for IB and for your exams. Thank you for listening.